Working remotely, Adam, is not for everyone. Well, in my interviews, I talk about how it can be challenging. It can be lonely sometimes. And working remotely is not the same as in the office. So there's huge benefits of coming into a remote company from a flexibility standpoint. So that's a real positive. But you have to really be self-aware and manage your time.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Transform Day One. I'm Adam Posner. This is the podcast. We're here today with our friends at Overalls, all things employee benefits, but at the next level. We're going to have a lot of incredible conversations today. 2 o'clock, I'm going to be right here on this stage with my friend Abby Adamson, unpacking what culture means. Not just buzzwords, but real action. So make sure you check it out. Stay with us. It's going to be a fun day. Lots of incredible conversations. We're going to meet some new friends. We're going to hang out with some old friends, and we're just going to see where the day goes. Let's do it.
Welcome to the podcast, where we introduce you to incredible humans who share their journeys with the mission to inspire you to harness your own inner tenacity to drive your life and career forward. And now, your host, Adam Posner.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to day one at Transform 2026. I am Adam Posner. This is a podcast. We are here with our friends over at Overalls. We're going to be having some incredible conversations today. And we're going to kick things off with my friend Katya Laviolette from 1Password. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to Transform.
Thank you, Adam. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
It's an honor. You should be honored to be my first guest of the day. So before we get going here, I'd love if you could just introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, what you guys do over at 1Password.
Happy to do that. So Katya Laviolette, I'm the Chief People Officer of 1Password. We are an identity security company. We are in 6 countries, just under 1,500 employees, very hyper growth, lots of scaling. We have a consumer and a business product. We started 20 years ago. We are fully remote for 2 decades. Obviously, we do a lot of in-person connections as well. And we basically are protecting humans and agents now. We'll get into that as well.
Oh, so much to unpack there.
There's a lot of people bringing a lot of tools into work, and every time you do that, it opens up gaps. And so we're there really to protect both consumers and the employees using the agents. It's totally changed the game. So we're here to protect you.
Here to protect. How long have you been with the organization for?
Over 4.5 years now.
Okay, and what drew you to working there?
So I wanted to do something impactful, something mission-driven, something that I cared deeply about. The culture was very important. This is a founder-led company. And really, I wanted to have some impact and fun, and I wanted to build something, and we're doing just that.
And where did you come from?
I have a 30-year career. I'm dating myself.
Well, most recent.
Prior to that, I was in e-commerce. And then prior to that, I was in manufacturing and industrial, which is quite different from tech.
And you always lived in Montreal?
Always in Montreal. I've been able to have my career in Montreal and have great exposure around the world.
And we were talking before you and I love Montreal. If someone comes to visit, what is your go-to restaurant recommendation?
I would say the Monarch, which is in Old Montreal, which is very French, and steak et frites is my favorite.
There we go. So let's get into a little bit. And when you were evaluating this opportunity for yourself to join 1Password, just out of curiosity, putting yourself in the candidate position, what do you evaluate when you look at benefits? So there's total comp for everyone out there, and let's break down total comp. It's not just how much a company is paying you. You have to look at everything: bonus, equity, and then you come into this world of benefits. How do you, as an employee, when you're evaluating, how do you personally evaluate healthcare, health and wellness, insurance? What goes through your head? What are your steps?
Well, I'll take a step back, because when the founders built this company, it was, less than 100 employees. It's grown immensely. And part of the culture from the founders was, we want to provide benefits that are all encompassing for the employee. And so we have weaved that through our evolution. And when we have built benefits in all the countries that we're in, we have kind of I would call it the 80-20, where everything is important in terms of your basic healthcare, your dental, your disability insurance.
Those are table stakes, though, right? Those are table stakes.
And then on top of that, we look at our population and what makes up our population. So family planning, wellness, pet benefits, a number of different benefits that are on top of what you would consider offering. And what I think is really important for both, I'd say North American, but more US based, is we pay a very, very big portion of the benefits, and healthcare costs are rising.
That's important as well. And it's interesting. Every company is different when it comes to how much they're contributing to your healthcare. And here, like, if we want to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit, especially on healthcare, you could be a single, you could be, with a partner, you could have dependents with kids. So you really have to think how much a company is contributing to that and actually factor that in to your salary.
Absolutely.
And not, I think there's a lot of folks
thousands of dollars.
A lot of folks are unaware of what that looks like.
Yes.
And I think how important is it for when you get to that offer stage with a candidate to actually literally break it down and itemize that for them?
We have quite an intricate offer stage, and we give the whole description of all the benefits, and then we do put a cost annually to all our employees. And so when we're rolling out our renewals, we will go through and tell them the millions of dollars we spend on them and what.
So aside from the standard benefits that most folks get in your organization, what are some of the cool things that you offer?
Excuse me. Sorry, I hope you edit that.
We'll edit that out. Yeah.
Sorry, I've never done that before.
It's okay.
So we have pet telemedicine, which is available throughout North America because we have a big contingent of folks who love their pets. We have wellness days. We offer 4 wellness days on top of 25 days.
What's a wellness day?
Wellness day is you basically, there are 4 days out of the year, the company shuts down for the day. And
don't check your email. Like, if you check your email,
we obviously have urgent situations where we need to be with the customer 24/7. But for the most part, many people are taking that day off to be with their family, to be with their friends, just to take care of themselves. We have PTO, which is 25 days, no matter where you are, where you start. So it's a blanket approach, and it's much easier to administer. And then we're very much, from a diversity perspective, we do a lot of family planning benefits and so forth, which are very, very important to our employee base.
What are family planning benefits for anyone out there who's not familiar?
It could be fertility benefits, a number of different things. It could be gender transformation, all those types of pieces, which cost a fair amount of money.
So let me ask you this. Being in the position you are, you're obviously like seeing offers come in. How important is having those type of benefits in converting a candidate to an employee? Like, how much weight does that carry?
Well, we actually have a whole employer branding perspective where we're very vocal about it. We provide that information up front. It carries a fair amount of weight. You want to look at the complete package. You want to look at who you're going to work for, what kind of product you're going to do, where's the company going. You also want to look at the equity offering, the compensation, and the bonuses, but the benefits are a big part.
And I think there's a lot of optics to it. Yes, you want utilization. We're going to talk about utilization in a moment. But from an employer branding perspective, when you see a company offering a well-rounded package, showing that they take care of their employees outside of work, at their home, because listen, work is 24/7.
Yes,
you're working.
that is correct.
But your work is your life, and your life is your work. And obviously, you separate. You have your work-life balance, but you need to be able to take advantage of those things that you need that are being offered through your employee.
Yes.
Speaking of utilization, I don't know if you have hard numbers. I don't know what you're willing to share. I'm not asking you to share anything. Do they take advantage of all these answers?
We have very high utilization because we also offer training and awareness programs as well. And that is it's good to have this data because when you go to renewal every year, you want to ensure that you're actually offering the targeted benefits that your employees want. We also do focus groups in every country, and we actually ask them, is this something that's important to you?
How do you make it easy for employees to take advantage and be aware of the benefits?
There's a whole back end that my team works on in terms of just administration. And when we choose the providers, we're checking in to make sure that things are easy. They're not getting caught up in too much paperwork and so forth. And if so, it's our job to correct that.
What does the onboarding and education process look like from a benefits perspective?
So we actually have a unique onboarding process. Everyone starts on a Wednesday. They don't start on a Monday. So we group everyone together.
Wait,
Yes.
let's pause on this for a second.
Yes.
I'm smiling because I absolutely, and it's funny. I've never even thought about this. Most people start. I've never even heard this before. So people start on a Monday. And let's talk about what actually happens when everyone's coming in on a Monday. Most people are like either really high or really sluggish, right? So and they're trying to get their week started, they're trying to kick things off. But starting on a Wednesday, your manager and the team are already revved up, right? They already,
Pre-planning, preparation.
and they can also get them ready for the new employee, make sure they're set up.
And the 3 days is our team taking care of them and then transitioning them over to their manager. They're in a remote company. Everything is documented. There's a lot to absorb, including the benefits.
How do you onboard remotely the right way?
I think we have a great system down. We have a lot of pre-communication, obviously right to the offer stage and the acceptance stage, getting them ready, communicating with their manager, and then we take them through the culture of the company, the founding story, the products, and so forth. And we do all the administrivia, and then we hand them over to the manager from there. And then we do obviously check-ins within the 90 days.
Oh, I absolutely love this. So I want to get back to benefits a little bit here. We're with our friends Overalls here, and everything in the process has an ROI. Everything has a number in it. Without giving away your numbers at all, but how do you justify the ROI of investing into ancillary health and wellness benefits, personal benefits? How do you justify that ROI? How do you show the value? Because numbers are important. You're
Numbers are
reporting to
important.
shareholders, stakeholders.
These are very significant benefit renewals. The costs are going up. It's something that is foundational to our culture. And we actually justify it through how it's being used. Do we have a lot of absenteeism? You can basically basically look at the utilization, productivity, and so forth. And it's something we believe in. It's actually something that you should not be cutting it as a first thing when you have a cost issue.
What if your employees had one central hub to handle real life? Meet Overalls, a smarter way to support your team, combining expert life concierges with AI to solve everyday challenges across healthcare, caregiving, benefits, insurance, finances, life administration, and more. From start to finish, Overall handles all of the details, using existing benefits where they fit and filling the gaps where they don't. So employees save time, reduce stress, and stay focused at work, while employers boost engagement to get more value from their benefits. Overalls was just named to Fast Company's 2026 list of the world's most innovative companies, ranking number 7 in workplace category and earning a spot on the Small and Mighty list. Founded in 2021 and based in New York, Overalls is redefining how work supports life, helping employees from Reddit, Patreon, Beatbox, and more cross pesky to-dos off their list every day. Find out more at getoveralls.com. Thanks.
Absolutely not. And do you find the balance between, like, from a pricing perspective, set up like pay per use, pay per employee, like pay per experience?
We are looking every year when we renew. We look at what's happening in the market. Where are we going? What are the next new age benefits that are coming out? We're also looking to AI to help us from a simplicity standpoint too. So every year you're in that cycle with the benefits team.
Do you guys have anything similar to, I don't know if you use Overalls, I don't know if you use anything similar to Overalls, usually any type of like concierge benefit wellness?
We have done some services through Overalls on some targeted cases, but I am proud to say that my team is very hands-on, very white glove. So when there's an issue, we basically take the issue, and we're lucky to do that with a team of 1,500 across 6 countries, and we will individually take care of an employee issue.
What do you think was one of the most interesting use cases of one of those kind of concierge benefits?
I think when there is flooding, when there's a major disaster, when we have employees in a certain area, that's when these kind of benefits are important. And people really, they remember that you take care of them.
I truly believe time is currency, right? And I think that especially for any executive within the organization, even anyone at any level within the team, any way that you could give them time back during their day. You know, it can be simple things. It can be something as simple as my son broke his iPhone and I don't have time to wait on the insurance, because time, let's call it what it is, time is money, time is productivity.
Correct.
So if you're able to give your employees those time back, and not just the time to be productive with the ROI back to the organization, but peace of mind, because that's their mental state. They're going to be a happier employee.
Absolutely.
How do you, as a people leader, and how do you stay in touch with 1,500 employees? How do you keep your finger on the pulse of culture and vibes, and especially being remote? You're not in the office. How do you do that?
We actually, in the last couple of years, we travel around a lot. Every city that the executive goes to, we bring all the employees together. We have obviously all hands, a lot of face-to-face, more physical meetings that are important because you want to keep your pulse on it. But we I've been lucky. I've been here 4.5 years. Like I interview every single VP that comes in the door. And I think it's important as a leader to get out and to get to know the employees and to be available.
All right, let's have some fun here. I want to throw it back to some old school podcast questions. I love when I have people, leaders in front of me. What's that go-to? All right, let's backtrack for a second. Senior level role. By the time someone gets to you in the process, they've been vetted for their experience, their skill set. They made it through a couple of stages. By the time they get to you, you're having a conversation to really assess who they are. And I hate the F word. We're not looking for fit. I like to say culture add. How do they add to the culture? What is your approach to interviewing questions to really assess someone's values and how they're going to assimilate into your organization?
Oh, it's much more open-ended. It's tell me your story. Why do you like security? Why do you think this is going to be a good fit? How are you going to contribute to our mission? And then I actually go and I do the opposite, and I give them a very realistic preview of like, this is a lot of work. We are not a lifestyle company.
No.
We're on a mission to do something big and bold. And if you want to join us, it's going to be a lot of work, and be aware of that. And so it's kind of a very mutual, open-ended discussion.
I loved, and let's double down on that for a moment here. There was some, obviously if you're on LinkedIn, you probably saw this a couple of months ago. A company, and it was a startup. It was an early stage startup. They were very open. They said, we work 70, 80 hours a week. We are building. We work on Saturdays. We are always on. This is our go time. This is who we are. Do not apply if this is not. And there was a lot of blowback from that too. And I was like, absolute. I applauded this company. They're managing expectations. They are mitigating risk of candidates thinking something that it's not. How do you frame up that conversation in the interview?
Well, we actually have shifted in the last year and a half to actually be in our boilerplates, all our materials. We actually say 1Password might not be the place for you. And that's part of the interview process, is to really explain how things work. And actually working remotely, Adam, is not for everyone.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, in my interviews, I talk about how it can be challenging. It can be lonely sometimes. Yes, you can have face-to-face. You will do a lot of travel. And working remotely is not the same as in the office. So there's huge benefits of coming into a remote company from a flexibility standpoint. Your example of when someone's lost their phone, they need to go off and get it. Well, they
take care of it. You have your time.
And you have your objectives. You need to complete them. So that's a real positive. But you have to really be self-aware and manage your time.
How do you build, maintain a culture and a vibe remotely? What are some of those cheat codes? How do you keep everyone? How do you keep the vibes high remotely?
Well, you become very intentional about documenting, about having specific communication vehicles. Everyone does. We do all company, all hands. Everyone in their function does all hands. We bring everyone together, all in person, at the beginning of the year, in person for the sales, and also remotely for the rest of the team. And then every person in the company will come together at least, at a minimum, once a year.
To utilize any of the benefits, like mental health benefits, how do you, if you see a candidate, if you see an employee is maybe, listen, you've been around the block long enough where you could pick up vibes. Could be performance dipping, could be attendance. Like, how do you maybe like proactively share benefits to them? It's like,
yes, we do.
If you're stressing out a little bit, here's some, mental health. Maybe we have some professionals.
We have all that in our benefits offering. And also, what happens is, we're living in a world where there's a lot of things going on in the world outside.
Yes.
And so when we see something that is a challenging situation, either for one of our employee resource groups or just in general, we will send a message out to our channels to say, we know this is a tough time for you. If you need some assistance, let us know.
Remote work is so interesting. Again, it's not for everybody. And we're kind of at this divide right now where there's the people say only remote, every company should be, but it's not really true. And I've been in the workforce 25 years. If I didn't have that time early in my career when I worked in advertising, being physically present with these leaders to watch their body language, to watch how they command a room, to watch how they adult, so to speak, I wouldn't have that. How are you managing that with your newer to the workforce employees?
Well, we do. We have a lot of events that we do. We have our employee resource groups. We have a lot of opportunities for people to come together to work on cross-functional projects. And the managers themselves, who are wonderful, they actually have to be aware of on Zoom, it's sometimes hard. And so strike up a conversation, ask how it's going. Don't get right into the nitty gritty right away.
I like
and
that.
you have to build that relationship.
I thought I was going to go the whole day without talking about AI, but we are going to just mention it a little bit. How are you navigating from a inbound application process? How are you navigating this world of AI where you have a mix of fraudulent applications? You have a mix of applications with candidates who are, in my words, over embellishing AI to word for word match, an application to a job description. How are you and the team managing it from a recruitment perspective?
So we're probably from an AI perspective within the HR function, we're using a number of different tools. TA or talent acquisition was really the first to adopt those. We have a security tool on top of everything else at the
Have to have a
start.
fraud checker, yeah.
Very, very important. And then we're actually working with the managers and training them. And we have interview loops. And so you're not just interviewing once and we're going to make you an offer. You're going to go through a process and we're going to explain what that process
I
is.
love it.
And for every senior level hire, we have opted to go to finalist in-person interviews.
I absolutely love the finalists in person because you want to meet somebody.
Yes.
You want to, feel the energy.
want
So leave us with some optimism over here. What is really lighting you up in the world of people and people management these days? What gets you excited? What gets you out of bed? What puts that smile on your face for what you do every single day?
I think for 1Password, we are doing something that is game changing, both from this agent and AI perspective and from the human perspective. And the curiosity of our workforce and people wanting to make an impact, that's what is very, very exciting. And we have a workforce that's behind that.
Absolutely. Katya, thank you so much for joining us today. Tell everyone where they can find you, where they connect, where they can learn more.
Just find me on LinkedIn, Katya Laviolette, 1password.com. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
Take care.
Pleasure.
Wisdom is forever, but for us, it's time to go. Thank you for joining us. Luckily, we'll be back with our next episode soon, jam-packed with more incredible humans. Thank you for listening, subscribing, and sharing. To join the conversation, search the podcast on LinkedIn. And to catch up on past episodes and more info, please visit www.thepodcast.com.